All right, all my little motherfuck faces. You're watching Validation Boy live stream August 27th, 2018. As per tradition, the first five in the live tonight were in at number one, a channel I will link below once again, who just never ceases putting out excellent content. Andrzace. In at number two, Barbara McGill. Good to have you. In at number three, Schlumminger. In at number four, They Lie, Ohio. And in at number five, Chapin. Chapin in the first five live. Chapin wants to hang around, but doesn't believe in the flat earth, I don't think. That's okay, though. He liked to kill them all more than master puppets, you know. Dead air is the tradition. Well, not anymore. I'm trying not to have any dead air anymore. I'm just going to get in, get my fucking thoughts out, and then end the show. Yeah. Everybody's talking about the music they're listening to. Oh, yeah. We've also been joined by Twitwit, who's in at somehow number one, according to Schlumminger. And we've also been joined by, well, the list goes on, but we'll see as time rolls through. All right. So, earlier this week, well, if y'all remember, there was this guy, Team Skeptic, that I faced off with, you know, on Tim's channel, you know. And it was what it was, you know. And for some reason, I flashed back to that, you know, introspectively at some moment during the week. And didn't think twice about it, you know. Then another day or so passed, and there's been this fucking video that's been lingering in my recommends. So I finally watched it. It's like about 30 minutes long, and it's called "What If the Earth Isn't Real" or something like that. And it's about simulation theory. It talks about a video game, the video game concept, wherein, you know, the part of the game that you're not playing doesn't exist. It ceases to exist when you're not looking at it. But that's not really true. The video game is actually just active where you are and then dormant in other parts. And the dormant parts, they're still they still exist. They're just partially dormant. And otherwise, you wouldn't be able to go back to those areas and experience game continuity. So they're wrong on the premise right there. But they equate video games and the whole, you know, Schrodinger's cat or whatever you want to call it, you know, probability factor. They call that, they equate that to the to quantum physics, you know, and to the double-slit experiment. And then I remember that guy had been talking about double-slit and how I didn't give a fuck about what he was saying. You know, I've looked into double-slit before, a long time ago. I understand the concept, but at the same time, I've also heard debunks, you know, but I haven't even paid attention to the subject in years, really. But it just so happens that this video about Earth being a fucking simulation and all that shit, well, I don't remember what I was gonna fucking say. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, I watched the video, and the video was talking about, you know, it blended in the whole double-slit thing to prove its point, supposedly prove its point, you know. And yeah, the double-slit works on the macro level with like solid ping pong balls or whatever, you know. And then it also works on the macro level with, quote, waves of water, you know. But The real nitty gritty, the real example that they try to use as proof that we live in a simulation is the theoretical, double slit experiment and what it's become nowadays, where it's just strictly and admittedly a 100% thought experiment. Okay. As in, there's no physical examples or demonstrations of any of the, results or hypotheses that they're, alleging and stuff. Now, that double slit, it's based on the presupposition that particles can be isolated and fucking manipulated and sent moving in given directions and shit. Okay. It's a huge, huge presupposition. Okay. Because how the fuck can you capture an individual particle, right? Anyways, individual fucking particles. I wrote some notes down. I was going to make a whole video on it. I warned Timmy that I was going to make a video. But, after writing an elaborate fucking narrated piece, I realized that I didn't really need to. All I needed to do was discuss a couple of key points here. And I think it would flow better, and I think it'd be more informative. Individual particles cannot change form. They cannot become waves, okay? And on top of that, waves, they're comprised of particles anyways. There's no such thing as a individual particle becoming a wave, okay? That's hocus pocus. That's mental gymnastics. That's theoretical bullshit, okay? Always has been. To theoretically fucking isolate a particle or a photon, electron, whatever it is, it would necessitate the use of a true vacuum. Okay? There is no such thing as a true vacuum, however. Okay? Because empty space without matter in it, space that's filled with nothing, okay, is a paradox. And if such a place even existed, it would automatically collapse in on itself. Okay? You can't have a chunk of non-space-time trapped inside a bubble, inside of what we understand as reality, our space-time. You can't have a bubble of non-space-time trapped somewhere in it, okay? It's just not, it's not reality. It's not possible. It would collapse in on itself. On top of that, all right, let me see. Let me see if I... Yeah. On top of that, any alleged vacuum that could ever be created, well, the walls that line the inside of that vacuum, they're made of particles. All right. To theoretically isolate a particle, it would necessitate a true vacuum, right? There's no such thing as a fucking vacuum because empty space without matter, like I said, is a paradox, okay? Now, no layman can ever reproduce the double slit experiment on the single particle scale. And I personally believe the experiment has never been performed by any scientist in any lab on the truly singular single particle level. I don't believe that that's ever happened. I don't think it's happened because we're still going to fucking play along, play make-believe, right? We're going to need to isolate a particle inside of a chamber. Now, all the space between the walls of the vacuum and the one particle you allege to be able to put into that vacuum, all that space is going to crush in on itself because it's going to collapse in on itself because it's reality, okay? We're going to need to do it inside of a vacuum, though. Let's just allege, okay, there's only going to be two possible ways to accomplish this. Method one, create a vacuum, suck out all the particles, and leave one behind. But there's no tech to do something like that. So too bad, so sad. Method number two, create a vacuum, suck out all the particles, but then put one particle back in. Okay, I'd love to see that. Now, whatever force it is that's required, whatever force that's necessary to push an isolated particle back into a vacuum is itself still part of material existence, and thus it is comprised of particles. Or if you want to say forces aren't particles, at the very least, that force necessitates the use of material particles to manifest its effects. Okay? There's no such thing as a force that's independent of particles. Also, in other words, once again, no subatomic particle has ever been isolated, okay? There's no such thing as spaceless space. Okay, there's no such thing. Not even in the best simulation, okay? This reality, however, is real. Atomism is debunked. Yeah. Atoms and shit like that, it's all debunked. It doesn't matter. This reality is real, okay? Anywhere you're going to go in this reality pretty much is, well, I mean, anywhere you're going to go is materially accounted for in essence. So there's no hiding. There's definitely no hiding from God. And that's the point. That's the point that I'm trying to make. There's not going to be any escape from moral dilemma. You know, no matter how badly some fucking demon in a fucking lab coat wants you to believe that there will be. So all these thoughts, all this solipsism, you know, the solipsism of the video game section of this of what I was talking about, all that, it's all just an attempt to become gods. You know, these fucks, they demand proof of God. They demand proof of God when we use God in arguments. When we use the Father in arguments. But everybody knows. Everybody out here knows. There's a whole lot more proof of the spiritual. There's a whole lot more proof of the spiritual realm than there is of theoretical thought experiments like the double-slit. They've never, you know, they'll never show you the isolation of one particle, and then furthermore the projection of said particle. They'll never show you one at a time. It always shows up in beams. And at that point, you're just talking about shadows. Because big deal, light is made of particles. And they use this excuse of, well, when we observe it, then it turns back into a particle. But when we weren't observing it, in other words, the time when we cannot account for, we swear it turned into a wave, passed through some holes, and then reconjoined back with itself or interfered back with itself and created spattering points. Well, these spattering points wouldn't be able to exist in a one-time shot. There'd either be one dot or there'd be two fucking dots. But no, it's always beams and shit. It's always beams of trillions and bajillions of fucking particles. So basically, particles are always particles. And this whole wave-particle duality is just wishful fucking thinking, and it's fucking satanic. It's born of demonic fucking intention. And it's something that I bet people like fucking I'm not even going to go there. Lord Gill, Martin Leakey, Nathan Oakley. Yeah. So there's basically a whole bunch more fucking evidence for spiritual phenomena than there is for quantum physics. Okay. You know, all the stuff, all the thought of experiments, all the stuff that they've done to try to prove. Do you own any white tees, VB? I do, but I'm not going to wear them on camera. I look better in black, I think. Anyways, All these things that are done, they're all done. In the end, it's all about building technology to find a way to save your consciousness and cheat death and cheat God. It's all about escaping God's judgment and the fear of death. That's what it's always about. That's what it all boils down to. It's these people trying to cheat death and become gods, live forever, have exponentiated powers over time. VB, it's satanic bollocks, mate, says Martin Leakey. It is. It is. It's wishful thinking. It's this like probability 50-50. Well, there's a chance. There's always a chance. It's the devil tempting you on your shoulder. That's what the wave particle duality really is supposed to fucking mentally fuck into your brain. That's the seed that it's planting. Okay. It's all against the Father, Jesus Christ, our creator. All against the Father. And for some, it's just like a rationalization. Well, why wouldn't God want us to do this for ourselves if he loved us? That's nonsense. That's still putting yourself before the very being that created you and gave you the chance to be what you are and to experience all the loves and all the joys that you have in your life. Oh, you know, and I did hear that Martin Leakey recently had a tragedy in the family. I'm very sorry for your loss, Martin Leakey. All the prayers to you. Y'all are saying that I'm not even going to go there. Flat Earth females, man. Insanity. Insane in the membrane. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. I mean, that fucking boils it down. There's no such thing as a real vacuum. In reality, there's not. Because a real vacuum, first off, the inside of it is comprised of particles. So a true vacuum is a space devoid of matter, devoid of time-space, you know, space-time or whatever you want to fucking call it. Like existence, space-time, matter, the material world, material existence, physical existence. You know, that. So if there's no physical existence in a bubble, it's going to collapse in on itself. Okay. Now, if we're talking about the parameters of where I think everything cuts off, which is a dome above us, I personally believe that in some form. I think everything cuts off right there. So at that point, that's where there is maybe some kind of, on a larger scale, some kind of true vacuum sealed system. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be, whatever the dome may be doing. Other than that, I didn't want to bring the chat down, guys. Come on. Martin doesn't want that. He doesn't want the chat to be brought down. Come on, guys. Anyways, we're talking about breaking down the Satanism of quantum physics. Okay? That's what Validation Boy is resorted to this week. All right. But anyways, enough about that, right? Enough about that. Who knows? All right. Now, like I was saying in a broadcast a couple of weeks ago, my predictions about the New World Order and how it really revolves around a hidden gynocracy. We don't need to get gory. We don't need to go into gory details this week. All right. But essentially, I predicted that we would start seeing such things. We're going to see guys like incels. We're going to see guys who are at video game tournaments start shooting up the place. And why? Because toxic masculinity. And why? Because guys don't want to even hang around girls anymore these days. It's become some kind of strange hookup culture. where the two sexes, I don't really know because I'm in a, very long-term relationship, but the way it appears society is headed by anything you look at, any form of media, you can just safely assume this, that it's a hookup culture now. And I see it. I see the guys, they isolate themselves because they feel rejected by the girls. The girls have these ridiculous standards, but they themselves are so insanely insecure that it's just a bunch of nonsense. And the world's growing apart, and the system is leaning towards favoritism towards the female as opposed to the male anymore. And it's just because inevitably Sandman probably is right when he says that, all power really comes from female administration, and men were used to build the infrastructure, and now they're taking it back from us, essentially, on a cultural level, on a very, very, very long, slow train ride into oblivion. Okay? And you can't blame the immediate women in your presence. You can't blame Twitwit or Barbara McGill or Lori Gale. You can't blame these women here, but you can blame a hidden gynocracy. Joke's on you all day. You can't blame Joanne either. The family has been destroyed, says Joke's on you all day. Great to have you. Great to have you. Everyone check out Joke's on You All Day channel and check out the videos and subscribe. But Chapin says, I like women when they don't try to dominate you. That's weird and annoying. I mean, Twitwit. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at here. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, so you're going to see guys that are, avoiding girls. And what do? They get involved in these games, and they get their power and status that way. And then they win up their status, and then they expect maybe groupies so they don't have to do any work. And that's the hookup culture, And now you just see like weird celebrity, C-listers on doing the hookup game with, F-listers, and then, and you got your Black China, and you got all these like D-list, F-list celebrities that are like, playing the hookup game. And then all the kids are trying to emulate that, and everyone's on this Instagram, and they like, try to be all glamorous and shit. So the guys too, everyone's just like a glam queen or something. I don't understand, but that's just the way it is now. Lewis Hackett says, all praise the hookup culture, as if it benefits his sorry candy ass in any way, shape, or form. Oh, immediately roasted and singed upon fucking entry, Lewis Hackett. Ooh. Just playing, though. Just playing. No. Lewis Hackett, he sounds smart. He sounds like a smart guy. He's got that going for him, I guess. Right? I guess there's someone out there for everybody. But, yeah, like I predicted, you're going to have these incels and all these things, and you're going to have these shootings. Now, the thing is, shootings like this in the past are typically classified by the conspiracy theory community as hoaxes. They usually are, right? I'm not saying that it's a hoax, but I'm sure there's lots and lots of people out there that would be willing to say that it's all a fucking hoax, right? And it's all about really females being frustrated. That guys aren't hanging around them anymore. Guys don't want to hang around them because they fucking suck. You know what I'm saying? Women pretty much suck these days for the younger generations. Let me see. And I mean, I've sat here before and tried to be an apologist, and say, oh, it's not women's fault, But after a while, the more Sandman you listen to, you start to see where the society is headed culturally. And it's really scary. And I did predict it, Twitwit. You're right. I did predict it. Now, whether or not it's a hoax, that's up for debate. Lewis Hackett says, "You suck, VB." And yeah, that's the thing, is that these things are going to be used to paint these young men as, you know, angry and shit. And therefore the laws need to be changed, you know, and more rights need to be taken away from men and handed over to the other side and things like that. You know, it's just, the society is going to be so cucked down, so feminized, that if there ever were to be a fucking police state martial law takeover, everyone would be quite pussified and quite easy to fucking handle and shit. Wouldn't they? Wouldn't they? Now, one last thing. One last fucking thing. The Rig has joined us. Schloninger says, platinum-plated pricks tickle gold-plated vaginas until they come sparkling diamonds. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Cut boy. The Rig. Cut boy. Cut B-O-I. I don't know. Blood over intent. Oh, shit. I don't even know what's going on here. Don't get it twisted over a handful of douchebags. Says Barbara McGill. I don't even know what the context is. Well, anyways, yeah, that Team Skeptic, you know, ever since I put him in his fucking place on Timmy's show that night, ever since I put him right in his fucking place, he's disappeared. That motherfucker is gone. He never made the video he promised about me, and that's fine. I'm just curious what happened. Did I really fucking shock and awe his fucking normie ass brain so hard and with such real manhood and real confidence in the truth and what I was saying that it actually fucking got through to him? Did it actually work for once? Did reality actually fucking break through? Did my reality, did God's reality cast out the fucking demons? The demons that have their hands straight up his fucking candy ass? Is that what happened? It might fucking have been exactly what happened. I don't understand. He made some other video. Maybe I sent him off thinking. Lewis Hackett wisely admits and says, yes, everything anyone does is because you said something, validation boy. I know. It's intellectual narcissism. You know what? I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the fact that, 72nd Human has joined us and says, I'm tardy, yet we grind on. And I was thinking about the fact that, you know, I got to humble myself before God. But do I need to humble myself before some of you demons out here? Or not you guys, but to the demons of the world, the demons of YouTube. Do I need to humble myself to them? Are they not in a place that needs lifting up from, if possible? Or if they're not willing to come up, then push them further down. Let them know. Just let them know. Lewis Hackett says that was sarcasm. I know, bro. That's why I painted it all up, all slathered it up in in my fucking magic word sauce to get myself over on you at your expense with your own words. But it was done out of respect. I'm being respectful. It's not like you're banned here or anything. In fact, it's great to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time. But yeah, you should go back and watch the beginning of this broadcast, because I just completely decimated, fucking destroyed the whole cuckery known as the double-slit experiment, and thus destroyed the very foundation of quantum physics, quantum cuck-ass, fake-ass, theoretical thought experiment physics, and the satanic fucking lie that it is. And I did it from a whole new angle, because actually today, like I said, I had written a whole piece, and then I went today and as I was working, looked around, see if anyone else debunked that, There was tons of videos debunking it, but I watched a bunch of them. None of them said the exact same reasons that I did. You know? And the name of the game is that you have to isolate an electron. And the thing is, or a particle, you can never isolate a particle. There's no such thing as an isolated particle anywhere. Never has been. It doesn't matter what little gun you shoot it from. Okay? You have to be shooting it where? Into a space where there's no other particles so that it can be tracked and measured or whatever the fuck. Okay? And guess what? All that empty non-matter, non-space space that you think you've created with this vacuum doesn't exist because it would automatically collapse in on itself. And if somehow it didn't, well, still then, the inside lining of that vacuum is comprised of fucking particles. So the particles that line that vacuum and the one isolated particle you allegedly shoot into that vacuum cancel each other out, and it's still just going to collapse in on itself. It's an impossibility. Quantum physics is a fucking it's a game of cuckery, and it's an infinite rabbit hole of misinterpretation of reality. Lewis Hackett, validation boy, what are you doing with your life? Reading dissertations on the properties of material existence for hours and whole weekends at a time. What are you doing? Sitting on my fucking channel, loving me, being my little service wench, me having my way with you in my fucking chat. I'm just playing, Lewis. You're so easy to fucking trigger from. Traversable MGTOW. Oh. Yeah, good to have you. Whoever you may be, good to have you. But anyways, yeah. It's all about getting men back on the plantation. The girls of that generation that aren't getting the attention from these video game type guys, the kind of attention that they want, they're mad about it. So now these kinds of things are going to start magically happening exactly as I predicted. You need to go back and watch my live stream where I talked about it. It's like 2 or 3 live streams back. I go into great detail. To start the show, I go into great detail about the conspiracy that is the hidden gynocracy. And over time, if you watch all my content, you watch Hijabs Are Oppressive to Men. If you watch Flat Earth, The Global Gynocracy. If you watch The Ugliest Truth. Maybe I should make a playlist about female nature and the world. BB should get a degree in theology, says Twitwit. Yeah, maybe. Andrzace, LOL. Well, I do know a lot about theologies. Was I talking about the Shiva? Did I tell you guys about the Shiva and the recreation? I told you about that. I told you about that, fucking the Ouroboros and all that bullshit. That is the Shiva, how it's just a recreation. It's not the original creation of the Father. Yeah, I know. Schlominger. Making Validation Boy blush. Says VB is the high priest of flat earth conservatism. Thank you. Someone's listening. Someone is listening. All right. That being said, gosh, guys, I got 29 viewers. It's such an honor to have you guys listening to me talk about God. Praise Jesus, praise God, praise our Creator, our Father. And it's fantastic that I'm able to come on here, destroy and decimate, take big shits all over things like quantum physics as a whole, and hopefully intellectually embarrass stooges that purport that quantum physics are real, like people like the Rig and people like Lewis Hackett, maybe even Chapin. Much respect, But we've been joined by Martin Leakey, Twitwit, Andrzace, Eugene 12, Traversable MGTOW. Just don't fuck with the baby mamas, and they are all baby mamas, Lewis Hackett, he never laughs. Chapin, all hail sun god. Yeah, right, bro. All the feces. Yeah, VB, let's talk about GPV. Says gold-plated vagina. Honor to have you in here. All right, guys. That being said, it's a fucking war. It's a spiritual war. It's about it's about the fact that most of the gods that go in defiance of the Father, the Creator, are in the end, mother goddesses, you know, goddesses, Mother Earth, Gaia type shit in one way, shape, or form or another. And it's a big war. It's a big war. It's a spiritual war at this point. And it's not a war against women. It's a war against the theology, you know, that supports and advocates for things like quantum physics to exist, you know, and fucking not advocates for, but you know, supports and fucking fosters an environment for things like that to exist in our society. Okay. And it's the worship of the material. It's the worship of the creation, not the worship of the creator. The creator is what gave us everything. Okay. You have to humble yourself before God. Okay. You know, you really don't have to fucking, Captain Bullshit joined us. Shouldn't really have to, wow, you guys got me. You guys gotta, Twitwit says we demand a VB/John LeBon chat. Yeah, you know, it's true. Jed went live this weekend, didn't invite me. John LeBon went live this weekend, didn't invite me. Timmy went live this weekend and didn't invite me. None of them want to talk to VB anymore because they know that, you know, that they can't get past the intangible sky argument. They literally, to this day, still honestly, I mean, and I'm not fucking around. I'm not being sarcastic or satirical. They literally can't get past my arguments. Okay. And they'll never get past my arguments concerning Double-Slit. I don't know. They probably agree with me on all this shit that I said about Double-Slit and about the bullshit that is the wave particle duality. But who knows? You know, who knows how they feel about that? We shall see one day. But you know, they're all scared of me. John LeBon has these extensive live chats with me, and then he puts them on private. Maybe he even shows them on his channel because they're so good. He wants to save them for the paying customers behind the paywall because it is the best stuff. I'm the only guy that ever gets anywhere. Or what he considers gets anywhere near his level with shit, even though I'm actually, you know, long, well, far ahead. But no, maybe not. Let's just be honest. Okay. Everyone's journey is different. John LeBon might know a whole lot more stuff than I do. Who fucking knows? Okay. It's been great having you guys. I'm so glad that you guys join me as I try to honor God. I try. I know there's a lot of arrogance. I know there's a lot of fucking double golden slit, says the rig. Ooh, I know there's a lot of arrogance. I know there's a lot of comedy. I know there's a lot of what Timmy perceives as satire, but he only says that because it's a self-defense mechanism for the fact that he knows that what I'm saying is actually real truth, real reality. He just wants to pretend that what I'm saying is National Enquirer when in reality it's fucking Webster's Dictionary all day, you know? And either way, you know, it's been great. Thanks for joining the rig. Gold-plated vagina, Twitwit, Lori Gale, Eugene 12, Lewis Hackett, Barry Mansfield. All right, guys. This has been Validation Boy live stream, August 27th, 2018.